Okay, we are live. Good morning, everybody. Buenos días a todos. Estamos aquí por nuestro webinar. We're here for our webinar this morning on communication during COVID-19 with Emmanuel Arroyo. Emmanuel, as many of you know, is the SPA director at Rosewood, Mayakoba, along with being the regional SPA director covering many of the Rosewood properties in the area. And he's going to talk to us about staying in communication with the guests, but also with your team during this time. Emmanuel, welcome. Great to have you here.
Thank you, Sarah. Well, first of all, thank you and the Spa and Wellness Mexicaribe community to invite me today to share some of the practices that we're doing during these challenging times, but also opportunity times. Opportunity times to stay in touch with our guests, but show the same interest and engagement with our teams. So at the end, that's what leaders do, right? We take care of our teams. And one of the areas that I believe that we have used as an opportunity is to demonstrate that we can still continue in communication with our teams and make sure that we are a point of support to them. So in the next slides, I will be sharing some of the practices that we do in Rosewood, Mayakoba as a property. Team-wise and guest-wise, and also globally as a company. I think that some of them can also be emulated, and I hope that can be of use for some of the assistants on the call. So if you can all see my screen, one of the things we wanted to do is make sure that during this time we could save some time for our teams so that they could be using their time wisely, that they had something to do, because sometimes, it is easy to fall into anxiety, and it's easy to fall into a different line of thought when you don't have enough things to do. So we wanted to make sure that we could plan ahead and make a schedule of activities that was available for our teams during this time. Of course, we wanted them to also have time to rest. We also wanted for them to have time to have a break, but also have a little bit of time for them to continue developing themselves. So we put it together a schedule of different classes and activities that could help them feel connected. Okay, so this is just one of the samples. This is the weekly program that we send to our associates every week. And as you can see, it shows a little bit of everything. It's a little bit of English classes. It has a segment of fitness. It has a segment of cooking classes and things that probably they've always wanted to do, but they never had the time to do. So on the next slide, we also have a schedule of different courses and trainings through Zoom. This is an example of one of the workshops that we do. This is an effective communication workshop. And again, one of the things that I believe is the key of success in hospitality is training. Unfortunately, sometimes we do not have the time for training while we are running a very busy operation. So we are trying to make sure that all of these trainings that we've been wanting to do, we are sure that it will elevate the abilities of our teams, that we are able to do them now. And at the end, we've all realized how useful is platforms like Zoom. We use 3 different platforms, but definitely Zoom is one of the ones that I believe it's very practical, and it's certainly very useful for doing trainings and communication. So this is one of the examples. We're also very strong on our on doing English classes online. We have an English teacher on property, but during this time we really trying to focus not just to teach, but also to measure the level of English that our associates are and provide them with the tools so that they can continue to practice their English. At the end, the majority of the guests that visit our property are from the States. So the level, increasing level of English is something that we really want to focus on. And we know that it will be useful for our associates, whether they are with us or not. So at the end, this is something that we give to them, not only with the interest of attending our guests, but for their own development. Okay. So, we're trying to make it fun, and we're trying to make challenges to it. And we're also trying to link them to rewards. Because at the end, we want always our approach to our associates is that they have to embrace this as something fun. You know, it has to be fun. So we're trying to provide them with different challenges on things that they have to pronounce, so that on pronunciation, phraseology, and also how to raise their vocabulary. This is all provided, in conjunction with our Director of Human Resources and myself, because the focus of my job is, of course, yes, the spa, but also wellness approach to the guests, but also to our teams. So on the next slide, we've also, like I mentioned in the beginning, one of the things we do very well is to do service and to engage with guests in a very personable way. But sometimes we miss on updating our own standard operating procedures and our actual job descriptions, because sometimes we initiate a hotel, we open a hotel, and we set foundations with job descriptions and standard SOPs that with the time we realize that we have to update them. And during this time, especially during this time, I would say, we have to update them for something that we have them nominated as the new normal. We all know that the hygiene norms, as well as the protective gear and social distancing, will have a strong impact on how we operate. So, this is a magnificent opportunity to re-review our operations and make sure that, first of all, we are analyzing if our standard operating procedures written are updated, and then make sure that all these new norms are taken into place without affecting the guest experience, but instead of that, enhancing it. So we're definitely, with the collaboration of our training manager and also the different department heads, we have elaborated, we may use this time to re-elaborate our standard SOPs and our job descriptions, flow charts of guest experience, as well as our checklists. And once we've done that, we use the time to train our associates so that when we are ready to reopen, this is already something that we've done. Okay. As part of the meetings and activities that we do, like I said at the beginning, is not just something that it needs to be related to Rosewood Mayakoba needs as the operation, but also something that allows them to learn something new. So I know that many associates that are not directly related to F&B, they've always wanted to know how to prepare a cocktail, and probably they've never done that. And this is a time that they can start experiencing something that they haven't tried in the past. So as you can see on this slide, we have invited, our bartender, Luis Mendoza, to prepare a gin and tonic palomas, for example. And this is something that, everyone connects and they learn how to do, and we do a toast with them at the same time. It's something fun, but it's at the end something that they can also learn that they haven't done in the past. This is just a slide also showcasing him and what he does, along with the invite that we send to all associates. And luckily, we have a lot of participation. We have groups on Zoom that are over 50 or 60 associates that connect simultaneously to learn about the recipes from our bartender. And it certainly has been a very fun experience. We also, fitness is a very strong component of this campaign. We want, associates, number one, yes, to train while they are in this confinement and demonstrate that they can do it while they are at their homes during this time. But I think most importantly, many of them not necessarily had a fitness practice. So at the end, we know that wellness is about learning something that you can adapt into your daily lifestyle, but that it stays, that it doesn't just happen during some time because you didn't have anything else to do, but that's something that it can elevate your life quality by adapting it into your daily lifestyle. So the objective is that all of them, we have all of these instructors. Two of them are regular associates, and the ones at the left are our fitness instructors, each one of them providing a different fitness class every day, but with the objective that they demonstrate that you don't need a gym to work out. Now you can do it at the comfort of your home, have some fun, and probably prove that you can work out like this without the necessity to go out to a fitness facility once you go back to work into your normal life. That is really the objective, you know. And again, we have had wonderful feedback from our associates. They are having fun. We're also integrating people from our teams that have very developed fitness practice, but that they never had the time to teach it. So now we have Danny teaching capoeira, or Christian teaching Kung Fu on self-defense. And we're allowing them to raise their abilities to teach and passion to teach, and providing at the same time an opportunity for our associates to connect, have fun, and learn something that is good for their lives. Again, this is just, I mean, the part of the activities and part of the collateral that we send to our associates, introducing the different activities that we will do and showcase on the different days. Okay, so we come, probably to the best and most fun part, which is also the spa part. We have our therapist sharing different tips on skincare masks, on hair masks that can be prepared with ingredients that can be found in our kitchens. We have our lead therapist approach on a session to our associates on how to take care of their skin and how to take care of the skin of their children while they're at home. And again, it has had a lot of following so far, a lot of comments. It's common things for the spa industry, but we've realized that many of these things that we know, these are things that probably our team don't know. So that will elevate, again, their own self-esteem, their own care for themselves. It will definitely be something beneficial for them. And also we have the team of the culinary team participating. The executive chef, Pablo Loza, it's participating, join this campaign to provide with different recipes that are available both for guests, but also for our associates. And he is behind the campaign of the culinary team, but we have different members of our culinary team showcasing different recipes that can be easily prepared and that are not expensive at all. So at the end, we know that these are also challenging times financially. So we're trying to put together recipes that are prepared with fundamental and elemental ingredients that our associates can prepare in their homes with the aid of their families. So that has been also had an enormous positive following, and our associates continue to comment and are very engaged and interacting. Maybe some of them had not had the chance to cook before, and now they're experiencing and they're having fun. Now it comes to the part of sustainability. We do have a biologist on property, and we had her try to provide a project on how to build a garden. So we selected a spot that did not have a garden at all, so that she could start putting it together with very cost-effective elements. And then we would be able to see the end of it once she finalizes it. So we're trying to encourage that anyone that doesn't have a garden, that they could actually put it together with the aid of Raquel. And we have used also our connections with the gardeners on property to support her, to try to select plants that are, again, that are easy to find and that are not expensive, but at the end can elevate the quality of life that they are having right now, through the introduction of a hobby. But also we all know how, well it is to, how positive it is to induce plants into our life spaces and to our home spaces. So it's fundamental. So again, she is also providing with some information on how to save energy, what are the times, and how energy can be effectively managed in our homes, so that we can save as much as we can. I think this initiative is also very appreciated by our teams, because many of these things we don't know, right? We don't know what are the peak times of consumption for light energy. And at the end, we sometimes use energy in a way that is not even necessary for ourselves, but it is definitely representing a huge expense. So she is helping us with coaching our associates on this on a regular basis as well. Okay, so also, I mean, I think this is the one that I also feel it's fundamental. It's emotional support. As we know, confinement can be challenging, and many of our associates not necessarily have very big spaces where they can move around. So confinement can be challenging. So we understand that. We understand that we have decided that we wanted to have a psychologist available to help us understand the way we feel and how to manage our own stress. Confinement can create anxiety. So we're trying to have these psychologists approach our associates and teams on feeling and on accepting it, accepting the fact that this can be created and knowing how to manage it. Okay, so I'm very proud on how the organization has decided to integrate a psychologist, because we do believe that this is a strong need in these times. I think not knowing can also create a lot of stress, and not having exactly an idea for a culture that is based on forecasting. I think it is very challenging to have a scenario where you cannot predict what is going to happen. So at the end, I guess that this psychologist is a wonderful introduction to teach our teams how to concentrate in the present times, how to be thankful for the things we have, and concentrate really on techniques that allows us to release stress and manage our own way to relax ourselves. This is available. The approach with the psychologist is also available throughout the week, and we have a stress management workshops available through a Zoom. And it's not just the psychologist speaking, it is about exercises and about integrating different workshops and practices that allow our team to feel better. That includes as well nutrition and different sessions with our yoga instructor, as well as nutrition, as I mentioned. Last but not least, I think for those that have children at home, raise the bar on how challenging sometimes confinement can be if we don't know what activities we need to do with them, right? Because at the end, we do have a kids club professional on property, and we call it the Rosewood Explorer leader. Damaris, is actually providing workshops for children and activities that the parents can easily do without, again, incurring into major expenses, with elements that can be easily found at home, but that can provide kids with some fun, So for those that have children, we'll appreciate this. And I know our associates are regularly connecting with Damaris and learning out of these activities to do at home with their kids. And also, we have an emotional intelligence workshop. This is provided from the wellness team. Jose is part of the management team of the wellness, of my team of wellness. And he is working along also with the psychologist to provide different workshops and on emotional intelligence. Again, this is one of the challenges that we did for the children, along with directed by Human Resources. We invited all of the families on the Day of the Children, on the 30th of April, to have a contest on who would do the most fun and crazy hair looking. And it was just fun. This is just part of the images of some of the children that participated. And we gave an award to all of the participants to submit their different hair looking. Again, it was a super fun activity, and everybody was really connected to it. And we're very proud that the families were really participating on it.